Hey there, everyone. It's been a long time since I've actually recorded something. I've been doing so many other things. I mean, one of those things is the launch of our youth empowerment initiative, very much aspired to develop and next gen cities. And it made me start thinking about something that, two times in our lives, do we really feel invisible or unheard? That's when you're young, right? So anybody under 20, teenagers definitely feel this pain. And then when you're like 50 plus, right? When you start crested into 50 or you become older and you start going into the AARP club, as I like to say, I think that young people stop listening to you, start kind of thinking about, do you know what you're talking about? Oh, let me do this for you. And you're like, I'm completely capable. I just happen to have a couple of decades behind me. And so those are the two populations, young people and seniors. Those are the two populations that I find often have the biggest issues in communities, right? Because they're kind of pushed aside, they're not heard all the time. Working on the project that we're working on in East St. Louis for this church that's building senior affordable tiny homes. I'm also doing this garden, the agricultural component, this memory garden, and kind of a wraparound community networking space. That is so crucial because as you age, if you can't age in place in your own home, you want to live somewhere where people will continue to let you thrive and you can thrive yourself and, treat you like you're worthwhile. You want to continue to feel worthwhile in your life. And I know that what happens often is you start feeling like people just don't value who you are or what you have to offer. And then on the other side, these two programs aspire to develop a next gen cities with young people, high schoolers and college students, but primarily high school students. I feel like having a high schooler, I know that often there's so many things because you're supposed to say this, but not say this, and respect your elders and do the things and go to college. And it's so many pieces. I remember being an angsty teen and we look at him and go, yeah, they're so angsty, but why? And since 2022, we have had this uptick in youth-led crime. And we have to look at kind of what's happening. And at Populace with me, I did a lot of research and looked at, okay, there's a correlation between gentrification, negative gentrification of cities like Memphis, Nashville, Dallas, Houston. And you really can insert most cities here. You find young people that are now taking on their parents' stress of money, of maybe having to move out of a place they've lived forever because they can no longer afford it. Groceries are high, stress is at an all-time high, right? In addition to that stress they're taking on and the feeling that they need to provide and go make money or get it how they live, there's also the stress of just maybe boredom. Maybe they're at school, they're bored, they're like, I don't care about this, I have other things to do. Or, there's a brain drain in some places and not in the others. So they're really focused and frustrated on just staying active and engaged in school. So what you wind up with is youth who may feel unempowered, unheard, bored, stressed. And so now they're acting out and creating lanes for themselves in really not great ways. And I've had a lot of questions around, this program that I've built and what does that mean? And is it really worthwhile? And yeah, it's definitely worthwhile, right? Because if you give anybody an option, that's why we have all of these cohorts and these accelerators and these incubators, because you have to give people options. They need to see this, you can do this. And they need to hear, you can do this, right? And here's how you do this. And so with young people, having been an educator, my mom was an educator, my sister's an educator, right? And being around education for a long time and having a teenager, I looked at this and I said, okay, I really want to build something that's going to help them be leaders, help these young people be leaders, help them understand entrepreneurship and social entrepreneurship. It's really important. Social entrepreneurship shouldn't just be buzzwords, and it's not just buzzwords. It really is a lifestyle. It's a way that you create money. So how do you make money, do good, repeat? Just in West Tennessee, there's like 11,000 nonprofits. That's insane. Does anybody just get crazy weirded out by the fact that there's 11,000 nonprofits all trying to solve maybe the same 5 things? And so I realized as I built Aspire to develop in next gen cities that I wanted to build something that empowered young people and was able to do this work, but I didn't necessarily want to put my hand in the same pot with everybody else in the nonprofit space. Love nonprofits, believe in them, stand them up. As a social entrepreneur, we need them, right? I just happen to not. Maybe one day they'll be nonprofit, but right now they're for-profit social venture programs, or the programs of our for-profit social venture. So, young people need to feel like they can do anything, be anything, right? But how? And so as we built these programs out, we realized, okay, you need to become leaders because you have to lead. You have to be able to stand up your community where you are. And then how do you do that? And that helps you stand up other young people, right? So as you age, you're pulling somebody up with you, right? Sankofa, go back and get it. Also, helping economic development with community development. If you have young people that realize, oh, I can be a part of this community this way. I have a voice. I'm going to lead something. I'm going to lead people that look like me or sound like me or where I'm from or my age. And people are now going to listen to me because I'm a leader, right? I'm a bona fide leader. So now people are going to listen to me. Maybe not always, but sometimes, right? And then if you have social entrepreneurs, they understand how to make money, do good, repeat, build a business. That contributes to your economic development, right? Because now these young people that are leaders and they've started businesses, they're making money. Ultimately, they'll employ other people. They'll bring business to your community that stands up something positive. And then, the end goal dream is become real estate developers, because the built environment is everything. Everything is real estate. Everything comes back to where the house is, what's in the community, what type of commercial real estate's there, what type of residential real estate's there, how does that feed or detract from the community? So if you have community-focused young people who now understand how to be real estate developers, have support to become real estate developers, they're going to build things for the community they care about, for people that look like them, talk like them, walk like them, sound like them, or where they're from, or looks like that, right? They're similar. Maybe it's not Memphis, but maybe it's in Dallas. Maybe they find a community in Dallas that's similar. Or they go to Houston and they say, I want to build this. Or they go to Little Rock or New Orleans. So building a league, if you will, I always think in terms of building a league of greatness, building a league of young people who have a focus. For every one young person that you stand up and support, that's one less young person that's going to feel disenfranchised, uncared about, unheard, and take a different path. And even if they've already been on that path, it's never too late to show them, hey, you can do this. Everybody's not going to buy into the program, but 8 times out of 10, again, people just want to be heard. So if you hear them, hear where they are, and then build into them, it's such a huge reverberation of good that happens. So, we have the crowdfunding campaign on I Fund Women, the letter I Fund Women, under Next Gen Cities. We only have a few months. How can you believe that it's September? My daughter's birthday is next week. That's incredible to me. September 27th. And so we're at the end of this thing. We're in the last stretch, right? We're almost in the 4th quarter. As a true Blue Raiders fan, that's always the most gut-wrenching time for me. And so the rest of 24 looks like getting the cohorts stood up and engaging more young people, parents, schools, some community leaders. But it also looks like hosting at least one Next Gen Cities event. And if you don't know what any of these things are, go to our website, populacecommunity.com, Populace, community.com. Go check out the programs that we're doing. Go check out our crowdfunding and get some cool swag by donating. But most importantly, think about, like, what would it have been like when I was young if someone had poured into me, or if someone did pour into you? How did that change the trajectory of your life? What if you had known then what you know now? I mean, I can say personally, if I had known then what I know now, my goodness, I'm pretty sure. Or if I had had 10%, if I were a teenager today with the hustle that I had as a teenager in the 1900s, the late 1900s, as they say, I would most likely, I would be a billionaire or something very, very soon, or something. So, I look at that and I think we have a responsibility. All day, I stand up with developers and organizations and can say, listen, here's how you pencil out affordable housing. Here's how you do this. But ultimately, I know that as we create the generation that we need, we're gonna grow and do so much better. And so affordable housing will become less of an issue. We'll have people that can help us build this and understand from a different perspective early on. And grabbing people while they're young, grabbing the youth to teach them is so much smarter, because you grab individuals even up to college before they have bills and kids, and you have to locate where good schools are or figure out how to make schools, even better, and have all the life. I've always told young people when I was teaching, told my students that were graduating, and I tell them to this day, and I tell my daughter, listen, stay in college as long as it's not on your dime. Stay in college as long as you can get somebody else to pay for it. Get the degrees, get the networks, get the education, learn about 6, 7 things. Because on the other side of that, all there is adulting. Oh, adulting and money. So do the thing. Stay a kid as long as you can. Go to college and stay as long as you can. But get all the degrees, get all the education, learn some things. Become a lawyer or something. I don't know. Just stay and do those things. Learn about money, get the education, learn how to invest your money and save it and spend it wisely. And then just stay a kid as long as you can. But most importantly, I really want everybody, I think at this point, like, I'm just kind of thinking out loud, but really I want people to think, how can we stand up this next generation? And there's nothing that's too complex or too big. You'd be surprised. So give young people a chance. Give your seniors a chance and stop talking down to them. And I say that because I'm headed that direction. All right. So thanks for stopping by and listening. Have a great week.